And why did I forget to put the processor part in the food processor? Because I'm Jeff, and I only bake sometimes. I'm still determined to bake my way through the list of the top 100 desserts in the world though, so keep watching, or better yet, subscribe to feel better about yourself. Welcome to Dessert Passport, where I'll be randomly selecting then ranking the top 100 desserts in the world, so let's see what we make this time. I originally found this list on Taste Atlas in February of 2025. The list does periodically update, so I'll be working from the original one I found in mid-February. Along with that, the recipe is also from Taste Atlas. That way everything I'm making will be consistent as possible. And the fifth recipe selected is Torta Garash from Bulgaria. See, I'm trying to get better about my pronunciations. Torta Garash, or Garash cake, brings us all the way back to the late 1800s to meet an Austro-Hungarian man named Torta Garash. Costa went to train in the confectionery arts in Vienna. I think that's pretty self-explanatory as to why. After pastry school, Mr. Garash settled in Rus, Bulgaria. Soon after, Bulgaria emerged as an autonomous state from the Ottoman Empire, post-Russo-Turkish War. Kosti boys soon started working at a fancy pants hotel as a pastry chef in Bulgaria. Costa started leasing a hotel for other fancy pants people. Here, in 1890, it is assumed that the Garash cake was served for the first time. Garash dedicated his creation to Prince Alexander of Battenberg and his squillion fancy pants guests. I saw another record that it was made for the Prime Minister of Bulgaria at the time in a banquet founding the first Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce, and people loved it, and the tales of his cake eventually spread into neighboring countries. It's also kind of neat that he thought to use local things like walnuts from the trees growing by the Danube River. Today, you can find Garash cake in most Bulgarian coffee shops, or so I'm led to believe. Set the oven to preheat at 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit, and prepare 5 pieces of parchment paper. Then trace a 26 centimeter or 10-inch circle in diameter on top of each paper. I just found a classic 10-inch cake pan that worked for me. That's a terrible circle. Go through and make a face on each. The fate of the recipe depends on how silly the faces are. Pulverize the walnuts until they're considered finely ground. Then tell someone in your life how fine you think they are.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
This had competition for the intro clip. I actually cut myself pretty badly on this blade, so cook times may depend on competency and willingness to serve people blood. I did not want to serve people blood, so it took a little bit longer. I'm just like a toddler trying to learn how to use my fingers. Separate the yolks and the whites from 10 eggs. We only need the whites here. I know. There's one different egg, but we're equal opportunity egg people here. I bet you didn't know the E in DEI stands for egg. You can tell that I dropped the egg here, but I was able to make a full recovery. And to my surprise, I have 10 whole egg yolks and 10 whole egg whites. I usually crack at least one. Add the egg whites to a large bowl, and then add the sugar in batches until you get soft peaks. The sugar is important for stabilizing the egg whites, and soft peaks shouldn't stand straight up when pulling the whisk out. Think of a Dairy Queen ice cream cone, or peaking in high school. Walnuts and eggy sitting in a bowl. Folding. Without being weird, you have to fold your finely ground walnuts into your whipped egg whites without deflating your egg whites. It's best to work in batches. Now turn each piece of paper drawn side down and spread a thin layer of meringue inside each circle. I just eyeballed about 1/5 or 20% of the meringue. If you want to be super precise, you can use a kitchen scale to make sure each layer has the same amount of meringue. Ain't no one got time for that though. Take your egg white circle to the oven and bake for 5 to 7 minutes at 160 degrees C or 320 degrees Fahrenheit. So this step was actually really strange for me. This is what mine looked like after 12 minutes. It definitely wasn't done at 5 minutes. Had I flipped the cake onto the cooling rack, it would have gone right through onto the counter and potentially onto me. It didn't look quite right, and I already cut myself once, so I didn't want to add being scalded by molten meringue to the list. Admittedly, that was a little long, but I'm not sure what happened here. My layers could have been too thick, or not spread evenly enough, or it could have not even been placed on the right rack. Who knows? Maybe it was just supposed to look like that and everything would have been fine? I don't know. We test desserts here, not fate, so I guess the world will never know. Melt the chocolate in a double boiler. Meanwhile, prep the filling, which can be as simple as a glass or heat-proof bowl over boiling water, and let it cool for 5 to 7 minutes. While it's cooling, start making the whipped cream. Moo. Then, with the mixer set on low, whip and nay the cream, adding the sugar in batches. While mixing, pour in the melted chocolate in a thin stream. The recipe overview says you can adjust the amount of sugar, so I went with about half. I figured the cake was already going to be sweet. The ganache as well didn't have to follow the trend. It's like one of those posters that your grandma used to have in her house with the Dalmatians, Dare to be different. That's me. That's me. Spread each layer with the chocolate crème cream, stack them, and spread them to the sides. Refrigerate for at least 1 hour. My cake layers looked pretty dry, but I wasn't super concerned about it because I knew this was going to be sandwiched in between cream and dripped over with ganache, and there would be plenty of moisture added to the sponge cakes. While straight up J chillin', I process my pistachios ready for duty. To start the glaze, melt 200 grams or 7 ounces of dark chocolate in a double boiler. Yes, this is the same double boiler I used earlier. Thank you for noticing. Then stir in 2 tablespoons of oil. The oil is supposed to make it shiny and spreadable. When melted, I suppose I can see a minor difference, but we'll just do as it says. Spread the shiny across the entire cake and the sides. And you're damn right, I used every last bit of that chocolate glaze. Instructions say to tilt the cake to spread it, and do not spread the glaze with a spatula. That inherently just stresses me out though. I'm not about to drop this cake, cut myself, all in one night. Maybe separately, but I did the dirty deed and spread it with a spatula. You can garnish the cake with sweetened coconut with green food coloring. You can use pistachios. And I don't really know if there are any other rules, but it looks like it just has to be green. Chill the cake again for a few hours. A good chocolate dessert makes me go a little primal while having to wait a whole day. I did mine overnight, so this is the next day.
One eternity later.
Also, with this being found in coffee shops in Bulgaria, I figured I'd have a shot of espresso paired with this Torta Garash. Peep the cup Claire got me from Alaska. And this came out so perfect. I know I'm using an espresso, but I'm not that much of an avid coffee drinker anyways. It's mostly just for guests at this point. And this is THIQQ with a Q, ladies and gentlemen. This cake being served chilled almost made it taste like solidified chocolate whipped cream, which I guess makes sense. You know how when you eat something a little like buttery or oily, that you get that coating on the inside of your mouth? It was like inches away from doing something similar here, I believe, because there is a lot of cream and stuff inside of it. It was much more cakey towards the back though. As suspected, the dryness of my cake layers didn't really seem to play an impact either. The dark roast coffee pairing went quite well. I mean, it's chocolate and coffee. I don't know what you want. Mochas exist for a reason. It's not overly sweet due to the percentage of dark chocolate. It's not as dense as it looks. It's actually quite light for how thick it is. What's not to love? In the end, it was good, thick, and rich. All things you want in a cake and a partner. My coworkers seemed to enjoy it too. Claire and I both give this a 7.5. We do rate things separately, but I guess we were just on the same page for this one. So join us again to see where we go in the world, and make sure to bring your passport.